Hi and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to do the first in a number of videos about vocal technique essentials. Now when I say essentials, I don't mean that they're basic and terribly simple. I mean that they're essential. And I've chosen these topics, if you like, because I know from experience as a teacher, from teaching beginners to teaching professional singers, that these are the areas of vocal technique that arise again and again and again as areas that can really support the voice when they're right and support success as a singer when they're right, or can cause problems if they're wrong. And the first of these is going to sound terribly simple, but bear with me because I'm going to go into some detail on it. It's posture. Now, when I say going into detail, I will go into detail because we'll talk about exactly what is good posture. Let's be precise about it. We'll talk about how to achieve it, which is pretty straightforward. But then we'll talk about how to maintain it and how to incorporate it into your practice to make sure that it stays as a constant in your singing, okay? But first of all, I want to explain, why do I think it's so important? Why am I devoting a video to this? And indeed, the first video of actual sort of content talking about technique and singing. Why am I sitting here rather than back there where I'd rather be at the piano doing all kinds of vocal exercises, etc., talking about posture today? The reason I'm doing that, okay, is because I have seen again and again the harm that not having your posture right and not maintaining it can do to singers, the problems it can cause. Now, you'd be amazed how many different problems for singers are contributed to or caused even by bad posture. Things you mightn't think of. For example, hoarseness, sore throats, a lack of vocal power or a loss of vocal power where people had it, a lack of volume, an inability to project the voice. They're all related, but they can all be very often, not always, but often traced back to bad posture, okay? A lack or a loss of vocal stamina is another one, that people find their voices tiring more. And then, of course, it starts to get sore when they have to keep working it during a rehearsal or a performance or whatever. So that's not good either, Then another problem can arise with unreliability at the top of the voice, that the top notes become hopeful rather than secure. Things like tongue tension, jaw tension, upper body tension, placement issues of the voice, vocal register problems, an inability to, sing at different dynamics. And all these things are bad in themselves, but they can also lead to a loss of confidence in the singer. And they stop trusting their voice. And then that can really cause all kinds of complex issues where, they lose the will to perform. And that is just horrible to see. In extreme cases, bad posture can ultimately contribute to serious, even permanent vocal damage. So it does need to be taken very, very seriously. That's why I'm devoting this first of these videos to that, okay? I want to see performers achieve their full potential and go on to continue singing to their fullest potential and have that satisfaction, okay? That's why I want to talk about posture, okay? Good posture has huge benefits as well. So there are positives. This isn't all the negatives. So what exactly is good posture? Okay? Good posture I would describe as being the sort of, if you like, optimal, the best alignment of the body, for efficient, easy collaboration between the different systems that make up the voice. Now, like so many singing teachers, I would tend to analyze the voice in 4 cooperating systems, okay? For today, because we're talking about the fundamental sound production, if you like, we'll park the articulatory function, which is, teeth, lips, tongue, etc., where we make the consonants and what have you, okay? And we'll concentrate on the other 3 fundamental sound producing systems, if you like. So the respiratory system, the phonatory system, and the resonatory system. Okay, respiratory is self-explanatory. It's to do with the breath supporting the voice. And that sends the air up under control to the phonatory system, phono being sound, which is your vocal folds, or vocal cords is the older way to describe them, which come together and the air activates them and they vibrate. And as they vibrate, they create the initial vocal sound. That's then sent up into the resonatory system, if you like, the pharynx, the mouth. The tongue is very important in that, in making adjustments that make the different vowels, etc. And then you've got obviously your soft palate or velum, and all the beautiful cavities inside your bone structure that create that resonance, in the same way as the cavity inside the body of a Stradivarius violin creates beautiful resonance. Okay, so they're the systems that need to collaborate and cooperate as efficiently and easily as possible to facilitate beautiful singing with that flow and vibrancy and that sense of send with ease that we all want. Okay, so what exactly do we do to achieve good posture? That's the first thing we need to look at, okay? The first thing I want to say about that is, when you're thinking about good posture, let's remember it's not just about your back. Some, people just think, oh yeah, stand up straight and sing. It's not that. It's so much more than that, okay? And very often when people do that, they get it wrong. They go too far. So the easiest way to achieve good posture is to use a method that was used by a famous singing teacher of many, many years ago, Manuel Garcia. And he told people to put their hands above their head, right? Now, not like this, above your head like that, and stretch upwards, okay? And then bring the arms down while leaving the shoulders and the chest where they are. So you get a comfortably elevated chest, but nothing like you've joined the army, nothing that's creating tension or that's retroflexing or bending back the spine. We don't want that, okay? So just to show you, quite simply, what we're looking for is that, we stretch above the head, etc., that we have a comfortably raised sternum or breastbone, yeah? Which means that the rectus abdominis and the core is all in a beautiful position to have freedom of movement, that it's not going to be restricted or compacted. If the chest descends and we get this, okay, all these muscles here are compacted and pressed into each other and they don't have freedom of movement. Now that means also that the lower rib cage moves inwards. The diaphragm is like sort of a, dome-shaped muscle, if you want to call it that. This is very simplistic. But when we inhale, the diaphragm pushes down like this, okay? And as it does, as you can see from my wrists, here and here are being pushed outwards, okay? So that's part of the inhalation process, where the diaphragm, if you like, enlarges the space inside the lungs, right? Now, as the sternum, the chest descends, not only does it compact all these muscles so that they don't have the freedom of movement to support the voice properly and to help out, okay? But also, it pushes the diaphragm up and means that you're not in control of the air. So we want simply that freedom, okay? Now, okay, and that is the freedom that good posture will bring you. Okay, so avoiding that dropping of the sternum, but also avoiding, like you've joined the army, stretching, back. The Manuel Garcia method of just stretching upwards and bringing the arms down, leaving the shoulders relaxed, but the chest just comfortably raised, right? Good posture should not create tension. That's bad posture. So that sense of elongated spine, some singing teachers over the years have talked about almost like a thread out of the crown of the head, just lifting. And that's quite good. But we don't want any stretching, just relaxed, but in a good, healthy position. Okay? And that leads to vocal well-being, vocal health, or it certainly contributes to vocal health, vocal well-being, etc. Now, how do we maintain it? It's one thing to achieve it, it's another thing to maintain it. And maintaining it is very simple. Maintaining it is about, just like everything else with singing, consistency. You must do it all the time if you want it to happen. Don't think that you can practice one way and then go out and perform a different way. It's not going to happen, okay? So, when we practice, we should actually check on our posture constantly. Now, that's not sort of becoming in any way rigid, just checking that we are standing. First of all, don't practice singing sitting at the keyboard. Stand to practice, it's better. And if you must sit, for example, if you're doing breathing exercises on an airplane or a warm-up in a car, whatever it may be, we all live in the real world, just try to ensure that from your hip to above your head is in a good alignment, okay? And in operas and music theatre and all the rest, very often we have to sit and lie and do all these things. We want all that, okay? It's not about rigidity, ever. Nothing in singing is, okay? It's about creating a structure where the body has the freedom to work its magic on the voice, okay? Now, while you're practicing, one good little occasional thing to do is to use your smartphone or whatever device you use and video yourself from the side, okay? And ideally have like a vertical reference point in the background of your video somewhere. It could be the side of a door or the side of, I don't know, shelving unit, whatever it might be. And then, you know, when you go back and look at a few minutes of video, just forward fast, slide forward and back or whatever way your particular app for videoing works. And you'll see if there's a slight deterioration over the few minutes when you're singing and you're losing concentration, okay? And if there is, become aware of it and just fix it. Don't focus on, this is bad, don't do that. Focus on what's right, on doing it right, okay? I'm not a fan of sort of pedagogical or teaching approaches where people put people standing against a wall for ages and all that sort of thing. That tends to induce rigidity. We don't want that. And then over time, as you practice, make sure that this is a regular feature in your practice, okay? Posture pays. Remember that. Posture pays. Now, in terms of maintaining it then, every time you perform, every time you practice, I don't care if you're singing in the shower, posture must be good every time because that effectively is part of your practice, okay? So that's what I want to say about posture. I'm saying it and I'm including it as the first of these vocal technique essentials for very good reasons, because it works. And also, if it isn't good, it causes very, very real problems for singers at every level, from beginner to experienced professional. In this room here, I have on quite a number of occasions had professional singers whose problems that they came to me with stemmed from posture. So just remember, focus on your posture, pay attention to it, and make it a constant. And if you can get one thing out of the time you've invested in watching this video, give yourself the gift of excellent posture for the rest of your life. And it should contribute to vocal health and vocal success. And here's wishing you every success. I'm going to include some links to other YouTube clips, not my own, which will be useful. One about the diaphragm. It's like a 3D video of how the diaphragm works, just to show you the way the rib cage, etc. work with that. And I will be dealing with breathing in great detail in another of these videos. And I'll also include some other YouTube clips that show great singers in very different, challenging contexts depending on their posture and benefiting from their posture. The great QED, or proof that something is important and works, is when you see people who are hugely successful doing it. And I've never seen a great singer with bad posture, and I don't think I've ever seen a bad singer with great posture. So work it out. There's a definite coincidence there. So there you go. That's it for today. Enjoy your singing. Enjoy singing with beautiful posture and a sense of ease in the body, never tension. And thank you for watching. Please do like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Enjoy your singing.